Right, welcome everyone to today's PSGL F4 stream. Today I will be commentating on F4. My name is NLR Phoenix 1. The usual commentators unfortunately were not able to make it for tonight's race, so I'll be replacing them. I'll be guiding you through today's action. Yeah, I've done a bit of research for this division. Obviously, usually I am busy commentating on F6, so I haven't been able to watch this division. But I've done my research, I've looked into the standings and know somewhat what to expect, who will be probably at the front. As we jump into qualifying, and as you can see it's all dry, so yeah, no rain at least for the qualifying session, but of course we might see some for the race. Obviously I don't have a weather broadcast in the F1 game sadly. Yeah. I'm expecting times in the somewhere in the mid-42s around here. As I said, I'm not able to watch this division, so I'm not sure what the drivers have been doing on the other tracks. But based on the times I've been seeing in time trial, I'm thinking mid-42s, 42.5, somewhere around that range. Should be a possibility for these guys. Yeah, we've got the first two drivers out on track. First one is the avatar of NSX Macho. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn down the audio slightly. It's a bit loud. Apologies for that. I could have sworn to turn it down, but I guess I forgot. There we go. Yeah, the first car now is Macho's just... Oh, he's not been passed, has he? McLaren is of Milan, letting him back through. There we go. Okay, so Macho will be the first driver to the lap time in this session, unless somebody else overtakes him during his outlap here. Yeah, today's race, as always, is sponsored by GT Omega, who provide gaming chairs. Yeah, you should... I believe there's a link in the description where you can buy the products, and as well, Good Rival, which is a Formula 1 fantasy league, which you can also have a link for in the description. You can check that out. Yeah, well, it's similar to any fantasy sports league you might have heard of, just for Formula 1. Well, Macho is now just about to finish his outlap as he goes through Stavelo, so the straight here to go, and then we'll be ready for the first hot lap in this qualifying session. He is closely followed by the McLaren of... is it FIA Milan or Charlie Moon? It's Milan. Alright. There were no changes on the finishing orders of last weekend's race. Everything stayed the same after the steward support, as there actually were no incidents reported at all, which I found quite surprising. You don't see that often to have no incidents at all. But yeah, Macho is now starting his first lap, going down into La Source. Slight lockup there, although that I'm not sure. There is a bit of a glitch in the game where the lockups happen more often on the spectator mode than they do actually for the actual drivers. So maybe he locked up, maybe he didn't. But he took the corner nicely. Good line through a route, keeping lots of speed. Gonna be opening the DRS in a second here. And yeah, coming up to the Sector 1 split line, it's gonna be a 30 probably, yeah, 30.096, just about below the 30-second mark through Sector 1. Obviously purple as he was the first driver through there. Yellow flags, that's just people slowing down for the, for starting the laps. All good, nothing happening, or nobody crashing. As Macho now goes into no name, down to 4th gear for the rotation, losing all the curb on the exit. So you can see now turning in for Puan. Oh, bit too much curb maybe on the inside. And yes, he was sent wide, and now is in Velden's lap time. Will be moving over to Milan, who is now... Oh no, Milan is also on an invalid lap. What about Roby behind him? Also invalid, so who is behind him? I believe that's an Alpine, could be Fleddy. Yes, Fleddy will be the first one to send lap time then. I hope I'm pronouncing all of these names correctly. I have to admit, I struggle with pronouncing those names sometimes. So yeah, if I'm doing anything wrong, please feel free to correct me in the chat. Or if I'm pronouncing the names wrong, I mean. Yes, Fleddy is on his way to be the first driver to complete a hot lap in this qualifying session. Just almost at the end of Sector 2 now, we'll be seeing his split times once he goes through this corner right here. And he's invalidated as well, so it's 4 drivers now who have invalidated their first laps. Ferrari up behind him, that would be Luke and Nick, but he's in the wall! Well, JLat is also on an invalid lap. Mercedes behind him, that would be De Beausoleil. And he currently 115.3 purple, obviously, as he is the first one. Is in the valid sector too. Yeah, quite a few cars in front of him, not able to keep this between the white lines. But yeah, he should now be the first one to complete a lap. Just one real corner to go. Blanchimont, obviously not much of a corner in these modern F1 cars. Just easy flat. And as he now goes into the bus stop chicane, using lots of curb on the entry. Actually, I missed somebody out of him. Alpha KK, 43.511 first lap of the session, and De Beausoleil, 43.5 as well. 43.2 from Alpha Jam now, so we're finally seeing the first few laps in this session coming in. Amroy, 43.5 now. 43.1 from Charlie Moon, fast lap of the session up until now. The Alpine of Kieran is about to finish his lap as well. Let's see if he can put himself on pole position maybe. 43.0 from Samba. 42.7 from Kieran, there we go. 3/10 on Samba, very impressive lap time from him. Yeah, now we've got quite a few laps coming in. Gustav just with a 43.5 into P9. Obviously this is such a long track, you'll be seeing a big field spread, currently 8/10 between the fastest and slowest lap times in this session. But that is to be expected. I mean, this is obviously 7 kilometers long, the longest track on the calendar, as Master Grizzly goes 5th fast into 43.2. Anybody else close to finishing a lap right now, maybe? I don't think so. There might actually be nobody on a hot lap at this point. So yeah, we've got some time to go about some of the race strategy that we could expect. Things obviously this is a 22 lap race, the shortest race lap-wise on the calendar, but because it's the longest for track length. Yeah, 22 laps. I'm expecting 10 laps on mediums and 12 laps on hards. Obviously, you can start on hards or mediums as we have free tire choice. Since the new game, you do not have to start on softs anymore. Oh, you don't have to start on your qualifying tire anymore. That's been changed. So drivers will have free choice for their tires. Although it's worth mentioning that because of a glitch in the game right now, we are unable to use formation lap. Because everybody who's not only the host has warm tires if you start on Formation Lap. Everybody else gets their tires reset to 70 degrees after Formation Lap. So to keep it fair, Formation Lap will be completely turned off, and this will result in everybody starting on 70 degree tires, which obviously is quite cold. So drivers will be struggling with that on the start, and that could be a reason to use mediums or even soft, as those will warm up faster than the hard tire will. Usually I'm seeing more drivers start in the hard, though with this change that might be, might change for the day. As Girofo is just disconnected from the session, I am hopefully he can get back in. Probably some connection issue, I assume. As Macho finishes his first sector here, it's gonna be a 29.9 purple in the first sector. But I'm never sure if the purple is actually purple in this game, because yeah, I don't think it works the way it's intended. So Ferrari at Pou unstopped, but he's getting going again, so well, fine. As Macho, a bit of a slide out of that hairpin right there, but he was able to keep it together through No Name as well, starting once again. Now into Pou, you can see another slide on the entry, so he's got a really oversteer setup, I believe. Just, yeah, really sliding that car into the corners, which, it is very risky, but if you can pull a setup like that off, it will gain you some time. As he will now cross the second split time. Oh, he's gotten wide there, and the lap is illegal. Yep, there we go. 14.8 it would have been. That sounds. I think it's a very good time. What was Kieran's sector 2 split? Oh well, yeah. I could do the math now, but I don't really want to do it. We want to focus on the driving, on the racing, well, on the qualifying for now. Milan, I believe, is currently on a hot lap. Let's see if he is going fast. Sector 2, 14.8 purple as well once again. Oh, but he's run right! And hits the barrier on Stavelo right there, but I think he's fine. He is still in the qualifying at least. He probably has some front wing damage. Yep, there we go. Letting the Haas of, is that Pier Puppy? Yes it is, but he is on an invalid lap as well. Who can we go on board with then? Luke and Nick right now is in the hot lap, I believe. No lap set from him just yet. With, well, I don't know how much time there is left to go. 8 minutes, there we go. So, yeah, the first 10 minutes, we've got quite a few drivers not able to the lap time just yet. We've got Girofo and Hahn out of the session as well. So they will be starting from the back probably. At least Girofo will definitely be starting from the back. Harm will be starting from the back, unless Latus, Milan and Fleddy also do not manage to put a lap time in. You can see Luke and Nick using 7th through poor, and most drivers have been using 6th, so maybe he's running some higher front wing and rear wing. Obviously being able to turn in better, having more traction in the corners, but as a trade-off, of course, will be slower on the straights, which could hurt him in the race, as he runs slightly wide. But he's fine actually. No invalidation just there. Maybe some track limit glitch that I'm not aware of, because that definitely was off track. I have to admit I have never seen that before. Luke and Nick now into the bus chicane. Lots of traffic here, which might be distracting him a little bit. What will his lap time be? Using 4th gear of the bus chicane. It's going to be a 43.1 P4 for the Ferrari driver. We've got the current pole sitter, ERT Kyron, starting his lap, just going through the bus chicane here. I'll stay on board with him for now. Yeah, obviously he is, I believe, currently 2nd in championship, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what my notes are saying. I'll just cross-check that quickly because, well, I had to throw these notes together quickly because I only had a couple hours notice that I'll be... Yes, he is currently 2nd, 1 point behind Girofo, who is, well, our current championship leader is P20 and out of this session, so that's gonna really hurt him. That could obviously affect the championship after today's race, if he isn't able to recover in the race. As now Kyron is invalidating his lap time. Sunba running very wide through Puon here, but that is legal as well, but he's spun the car around, so that's his lap down the drain as well. Charlie Moon up by 5/10 right now, so he's looking at a pole position here. That'll put him into P1 if he can keep this, well, even without getting any more time through the last few corners of this lap. Going into Blanchimont, obviously easy flat out once again. And now just the bus chicane to go, braking just before the curb comes up. 3rd gear through the corner, will he short shift to 4th, will he stay in 3rd? He's staying in 3rd. Opening up DRS and over the line, 42.754, about 30 thousandths per second between Charlie Moon and Kyron right now, but he does take pole position for now at least, though there is still 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Nothing is decided yet. The Beausoleil is currently on a hot lap. No he's not. Apologies, he is on a slow lap right now. Fleddy just, oh, Gia Latos, 42.5, and now Roby, 42.6 as well. So there we go, my expected 42.5 has been met now. Let's see if anybody can exceed that. We still have 5 minutes to go in the session, so I'm thinking we'll probably be seeing some fast lap times still. I'm just gonna go through, see if I can find anybody who is on hot lap. Looks like Gustav is he on hot lap? No, he's very low on EA. He's not using EAS right now, so he's not. Any of the top guys right now? Well, obviously those guys all just put in laps, so they won't be pushing. I believe the highest placed driver right now on the lap is, no, M-Boy is also on the slow lap as he's invalidated. So right now is nobody on a hot lap? No, Milan is on a hot lap, there we go. Finally found someone. Currently in P19, no lap time set from him just yet. Well, this might be his... This could be his last, or maybe his second last, depending on if he gets back to the pits in time. Obviously he'll be aiming to complete this lap, so he has at least some kind of lap time in, so we'll be starting from the back. 14.8 through Sector 2, definitely a competitive sector time to, yeah, 1:14.8. I believe that's one of the fastest ones we've been seeing through Sector 2. Now just Blanchimont on the bus stop to go. Let's see if he can bring it over the line. Using 2nd gear through the corner, will probably be shorting to 3rd. Yep, there we go, for traction. It's very currently excellent 2nd gear. 43.0 for FER Milan. P6 for the McLaren driver. Now once again we're back to looking for somebody on a lap, and right now nobody is on a hot lap. Though we've got Diego Silva on an out lap right now, he's the only one. Milan and Roby are on the way back to the pit lane, everybody else is in the box. So just Diogo Silva who is about to start a hot lap as we have 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session. He is currently P16 with a 43.450. Going very wide here on exit to have the on the exit of the first buffer chicane to have a good line. Using maximum speed now. Okay, hitting the maximum speed. Braking at about 100 meter board into La Source. Maybe could have taken a bit more curb there on the inside, but it depends on the setup as well, how much curb you can take. Let's see, he's running up to a Rouge. Obviously should be flat. And indeed it is. Well, it's lost a bit more speed than you probably should be using through there. Opening up the ERS as early as possible, obviously. Coming up to the split time sector 1, what's his time? 29.913, 63 thousandths gained. So he could be looking at a slight push improvement. He's currently about 1/10 behind, or a bit more than 1/10 behind the 15th place driver LRB05. Going through no-name, short shifting into 5th on the exit again, after going down to 4th for rotation. Let's see what gear is he using through Puan. 6th gear, a bit of understeer. Could see kicking in on the entry, not really able to get the car turned in like he would want to. Using 5th gear through this fast right-left chicane. This is coming up to the sector 2 split times. Running slightly wide into the grass. That's 11 well. He was up by 3/10. That would have put him somewhere around P11, P12 maybe. But now the lap is ruined. And now all the top guys are now out on their outlaps. The furthest along, I believe it's Charlie Moon. So yeah, Charlie Moon will be the first among the top drivers to start a hot lap. Right now, nobody's in there. Milan is retired from the session, but he's done so in the pit lane. So he will not be putting in another lap. 43.016 will be his best lap time. The first few guys starting the laps now, you can see both Alfa Romeos and the Ferrari just there in the final corner. Yep, there we go, Sam was the first across the line. Going to Buster chicane in 2nd gear, short shift into 3rd, bit of a slide on exit, but not much time lost there. Yes, he's gonna go up a Rouge now. Obviously should be flat once again. Down to 300 kph, I lost even more speed than Diogo Silva did earlier. As Samba will now be crossing the split time for sector 1. 29.935, up by 1,000 of a second, so slim margins to his previous best lap. So now the guys up ahead are also starting the laps. Samba will probably be looking to at least beat Milan here, who obviously can't defend himself at this point. Using all the curb on exit out of no name. And now down to Puan. Girofo is now back in the lobby after having disconnected earlier. Samba running a bit wide through Puan, not able to get the car onto the apex on exit. Though maybe that is the line he wants to take. Oh, and now he spun! He spun the car around out of the fast left-right chicane, and that's his lap down the drain. We've got Elifa Envoy, who's just passed him up by 4.5 tenths, so he could be looking at a 42.8. That would quite jump him, well, all the way from P14 to P6. So Envoy looking at a big improvement here. Obviously, we might be experiencing some track development, which would explain the massive gap to his previous best lap time. As he goes into the bus stop chicane, using 3rd gear through the corner. Opening up that gear, it's gonna be a 42.7 for Envoy. Jumps into P3. Charlie Moon, I believe he's abandoned his lap time, he's not really pushing right now. Kieran up by 2.5 tenths. Currently in P5 with a 42.7, 2.5 tenths would put him into P1. Roby's out of the session, so he will not be improving on that 42.6. Kieran getting a bit of slipstream here from his teammate up ahead, which I believe is actually banned, so yeah, Alpine might be in trouble for that one. As Kieran now into the final corner, this should put him onto pole position. Dia is open now across the line, 42.4, there we go. But can Latus strike back? 42.5 now, about 2 tenths behind, a bit less than 2 tenths. Nobody else in the top top 10 on laps anymore, but we've got a few guys, the Beausoleil, Lukenik and Gustav also going, as well as Macho. But we'll stay on board with Latus for now, who's just going into the final corner now, into the bus stop chicane. Down to second gear, we'll be shortening to third, there we go. Opening up that DRS, 42.515 for Latus, stays in P2. Yeah, there we go, ERT Caravan takes the pole position here in this qualifying session. That was a very, very close qualifying. Obviously you have to consider Belgium is a very long track, so 1/10 is, well, it sounds a lot larger than it actually is. 1/10 can be quickly found or lost on a track as long as this. So yeah, Kyron takes pole position ahead of Gia Latus, and then Lukenik in P3 with Roby in P4, Amvo in P5, Charlie Moon in P6, Alpha Keke in P7, Fled in P8, Milan in P9, LRB 05 in P10, Samba in P11, Jaume in P12, Die Beausoleil in P13, Gustav in P14, Marcel Grisny in P15, Diogo Silva in P16, Pierre Papi in P17, Macho in P18, Harm in P19, and Girofo, our current championship leader, down in last place, not having been able to set a lap time. Well, and now we are on the grid for the race. Drivers will be putting in the strategies, no formation lap, so I should be ready to go. As you can see, no rain for the race either, but the sky is slightly dark. I can see some clouds just in the top left-hand corner of the screen. So we might be seeing some rain in the race, though obviously, once again, there's no weather forecast for the spectator in the F1 game. So we'll just have to wait and see for, wait and see if there's any rain in this race. Yeah, and once the drivers have readied up, we'll immediately jump into the race. As already mentioned, no formation lap, but drivers will therefore be on cold tires, 70 degrees. Yeah, the tires only really start properly gripping after, once they reach 80 degrees at least, that's where they start getting okay, and then 85, around that range, they start feeling really the way they would normally. So it will probably take at least half a lap for everyone to have the tires warmed up, and there we go, first drivers ready up, and we are ready for the race. Unfortunately, can't look at the strategies before the race start gets ahead. We'll just have to immediately jump in. 15 seconds to go until the lights will appear. Will Kieran be able to take the lead into turn 1, or will somebody else beat him off the line? Obviously then the large, or the massive run up to the, over the Camel Straight up to Le Com as well, could see somebody passing him. And there we go, 30-second timer has gone out. The 5 red lights are on, we're ready for the race start. And it's lights out and away we go. Good start from Kieran. Latus not really able to get away just as well as he was. He's got the Ferrari of Lukenik up his inside, as well as Roby, very close between the two of them. Roby now on the exit, beating Latus on traction, but they're still side by side. Latus has to pull out though, can't keep with him at least for now. Fighting going on in the backup, and we'll stay at the front right here, as Roby is under pressure from Latus, more so than he's able to pressurize Kieran. Could be using the slipstream now to get back past. Diogo still is out of the race, as well as Gustav. They've been involved in an accident incident, and there's a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car deployed, race has been neutralized. And rain! There's rain! I did not even notice. We've immediately got rain, but it's not wet enough for a tire change just yet. And everybody's on hard tires, despite the fact that we're having rain. Apart from Pierre Papi, who's on soft, and De Beausoleil on mediums. So that makes me think this rain will not get any heavier, and if anything, will only get less intense, and will be staying on the dry compound tire. Otherwise, those guys would have seen in their weather report that the rain will get heavier and that they have to go to intermediates, and then obviously they wouldn't have gone for hard tires. But yeah, only 2 drivers not starting on hards. The Beausoleil on mediums and Pierre Papi on softs. Rest of the field on hards. Well, let's have a look at the position changes. Who had the best start here? We've got, well, obviously Kieran keeping position, Roby up from P4 to P2, Latus down from P2 to P3, and Amboy up into P4 as well. Lukenik lost 2 places, Milan up 3, then Charlie, Moon, Keke and Fleddy all down 1, and the Beausoleil up 3, but we should be ready to go racing again quite soon. The VSC usually doesn't stay out this long. Interesting to see if anybody will be boxing, maybe if you're a new front wing. Obviously Gustav had that incident with Diogo Silva, or well, I don't know if they had an incident together, but they were both stopped after a rouge. VSC is away, we're ready to go racing again. Jaume immediately passing Girofo, and Roby is all over Kieran here, as they're gonna fight down to turn 1. Obviously the rain will be making this very difficult for them. But Kieran is able to hold on for now, or is he on the exit? Roby with a good exit, but he decides better of it, or doesn't get quite the same traction that Kieran did out of turn 1. So now at upper rouge. Obviously, Ruben isn't seen, they're lifting through a rouge as well, so not sure if that's impacted by the rain or just the heavy fuel load at the start of the race. Will Kieran be able to hold on? Looks like he will be. I don't think Roby is quite close enough for a move just yet. Kieran keeps the lead for now. Milan is all over Luke and Nicky in a fight for P5. Samba getting past Fleddy now. Battles all over the field here in the early, in the opening stages of this race. But we shall go back to the front. Roby staying with Kieran for now, 5/10 the gap, so once the DRS opens he will be able to open that rear wing. Though obviously if this rain gets more intense, the DRS will not open and we'll probably be seeing people boxing for intermediates. But I think the rain has gotten a bit more intense. You can see it good on the onboard right here. There's more rain coming, so maybe we'll be seeing people boxing for intermediates. Right now, nobody's able to pass anyone just about the way. We've got so many people so close to everyone. This will be a big DRS train. Yellow flags, and it's Ham! Ham! Out of the race, apologies. Ham in the back corner. It's another VSC. Just a VSC. Yep, once again, virtual safety car. Neutralizing the race once again. Let's see this time if anybody will box. Oh, Kieran thought about it. Roby's going in. Will this be for intermediate tires? Will Roby be putting on the intermediates? Amvoy in the pits as well. Luke and Nick in the pits. Keke in the pits. Samba in the pits. Freddy in the pits. Lots of people boxing now. And what tire will they be going on to? Will it be intermediates? DRS has been enabled. Yes, intermediate for Amvoy. Intermediate for Roby. There we go. We're seeing intermediate tires being pulled out. So the track is ready for inters. Yeah, a lot of people in the pits now. Just the top 8 will stay out. And obviously, they will have gained time on the VSC. As Roby, I think Roby might have crossed the white line on pit exit there. So if any driver spots that and reports it, he might be getting a penalty. Has to lift through a rouge. Obviously, these intermediates, they are actually fine on 70 degrees temperature. So no tire warm-up phase for the intermediate runners now. Let's see if Roby is faster than the guys up ahead of him. And I believe he is. You can see him closing in on the braking. So it is time for intermediates, I think. He's definitely not struggling. He's keeping pace at least. Maybe even slightly faster than the car ahead of him. Obviously, Pierre Pavi on soft as well, so he's on the perfect, on the best dry tire for conditions like this, especially. But yeah, Roby's all over him. It's time for intermediate. So this could catapult Roby up into the lead of the race, especially because he boxed on the safety car, on the virtual safety car, and then as well the undercut with the rain already coming down heavily now. What, will Roby be stuck behind? Yes, he is stuck behind him still. He doesn't overtake him here. Maybe waiting for the straight into the bus stop chicane, or maybe even down onto the down into Le Com on the Camel Straight. But now Roby is passing into Stavilo. What a move by Roby! Very ambitious, but he pulls it off. Wasn't quite able to properly see it because of a not the best camera angle being given by the game just there. And now the rest of the field is pitting as well. Kieran and Lattes in the pits. I'm expecting everybody else to follow them. Will Roby send one up the inside of Macho? No, he's thinking better of it, because Macho will probably just box now anyway. Yes, Roby just about managing to avoid him there as he lost the back end. Pierre Papi is still staying out, interestingly. And so is Charlie Moon. We've got Charlie Moon and Pierre Papi still staying out. And indeed, Roby, well, takes P2 with Charlie Moon still staying out. Kieran will be leaving the pits in P3. Just behind Roby then. J.R. Lattes now right behind Pierre Papi, but you can see, yeah, the track is very wet now, so time for inters for sure. I think the guys who stayed out made the wrong call here. DRS now still enabled for some reason. Lattes now gonna go past Pierre Papi up the inside into Le Com, and I think he'll get this done quite easily, as he has a massive tire advantage. Yep, there we go. Lattes gets past the Haas driver. No problem for him. Amvoy will be the next one up ahead of him as Pierre Puppy almost loses on the exit, and Amvoy does get past him almost immediately. Roby's getting closer to Charlie Moon as well now, and this would be the pass for the lead, obviously, or well, for the on-track lead. Roby already has the lead, because Charlie Moon will definitely have the box, so Roby will be in the lead anyway. 3-second time penalty for Fleddy, the first one of this race. Roby now. Only 1 second between him and Charlie Moon. Charlie Moon, you can see he's basically crawling right in front of him, so Roby will have to find a way around him quickly, or else Kieran will close in. And there we go, Charlie Moon running right, and now to Stavelo. Kieran not far behind either, he's gonna pass him probably into Blanchimont even, or maybe even earlier as he has a better exit. Diogo Silva just leaving the session now after his DNF'd early in the race. And there we go, Charlie Moon losing further places, Pierre Puppy down to P8 as well. Yellow flags in sector 2, and that might be Pierre Puppy again, yes, he's on the dry tire. 5-second penalty for severe collision with Fleddy, so Fleddy was involved in that one as well. Charlie Moon barely able to get the car turned at all. 10-second time penalty Pierre Puppy now for exceeding track limits. So, well, going from bad to worse for him. 3 seconds for LFR Traum as well. The closest battle on track now is Amvoy against Lattice for P3 right here. This is a close battle that I'm able to see the gap of right now. Charlie Moon and Pierre Puppy will now probably be at the back of the grid. Maybe with the exception of LRB, who is, well, he had probably some incident, some kind of spin that I wasn't able to catch, that I didn't see. But yeah, we'll keep our focus in the front for now as Amvoy is still, well, not quite close enough to Lattice though. I think he had a bad run through a Rouge, which didn't allow him to get close to Lattice. Macho though is very close to Drown as they're fighting on P12. Amvoy now with a 3-second time penalty for receiving multiple warnings. We're seeing quite a few penalties already early on, just 5 laps into this race and already 3 drivers having penalties. As Drown almost loses it and Macho is able to go around his outside, so Drown not really confident in these intermediate conditions, maybe running a dry setup and everybody else on a wet setup. I'm not sure how much longer this rain will stay, depending on how much rain there was forecasted. Drivers might have gone for a wet setup. 3-second penalty for FIA Milan as well now. So even more penalties as Milan is in the grass right here. He's lost it. He's gonna have to let these guys pass here as he's letting everybody pass, and now he's down to P14. And now a full core safety car has been deployed. The 3rd safety car in just 5 laps. Well, this has been a very exciting first few laps, but now I'm finally gonna get a bit of a breather here. As Roby will be leading the field to catch the safety car. I'm assuming nobody will box, as there's not much of a reason to. They're all on fresh intermediates. The rain is not heavy enough for wets, and obviously we're nowhere near dry conditions still. Actually, the Borsel there is boxing. 3-second time penalty under safety car for Pierre Puppy. The Borsel is going for fresh intermediate tires and a wing change. Okay, that explains why he's boxing. He has to put on a new front wing. Milan, he had that spin, so he's probably also looking for a new front wing here. Might have damaged the wing. And yes, there we go, new front wing. No wing at all right now on Milan's car. And double stack with Charlie Moon as well. Both McLarens in the pits at the same time. So Charlie Moon will be losing some time here. If he actually also is going for a wing change. I can't see any damage on the front wing, at least visibly. But he's changed it anyways, and there must have been some damage. Is he gonna come out in last place behind Pierre Puppy, or is he still gonna be in P17? Could be close here. Ah, never mind. Pierre Puppy also no front wing, so will also be boxing now. Yeah, allowing Charlie Moon to exit the pits in P18. I'm just gonna mute myself for a second so I can have a drink, but I'll be back in just a few moments. Right, there we go. I'm back. Well, we're seeing the safety car, yeah, just driving around for the next couple of laps. But once the safety car's in, we'll have the field bunched up, and we should be yeah, we should be ready to go racing again. Once everybody's caught up, obviously, PFRP probably another 1 or 2 laps until he's gonna catch us. But once he does, safety car will probably go in. Normally doesn't wait for any longer than everybody catching up. And normally also doesn't come in any earlier than that. Obviously this intermediate, or this rain is thrown out all my my theories and the strategy that I had made. I was expecting medium hard, but obviously now with these conditions there is no point in being on dry tires. But once this rain does stop, if it ever does stop, I'm not sure, this might be here for the rest of the race. But if the rain does go away later on, it will be interesting to see what compound these guys go to. Right now, if the rain were to stop now, which obviously it isn't, otherwise people would have boxed on a safety car, I would be saying hard tires. But if well, just a few laps more, from lap 10 onwards maybe you can go to mediums. And softs, they really don't last that long, maybe just 5 laps or even, well, a bit longer than 5 laps, but that's why they're effective. So if it's longer than that, you'd be probably better off being on mediums. Right, Charlie Moon is about to catch the field, and then it will just be PFRP. We're probably gonna have, well, the safety car will be coming in this lap or next lap, I'm thinking. And then, yeah, safety car restart in the wet. Obviously, could be seeing some chaos, especially up Eau Rouge, as the conditions might have changed slightly, because obviously in the rain there will be more or less rain depending on what time you're at in the race, which could affect drivers going up Eau Rouge, especially as that is the most dangerous corner in the wet, at least. In the dry it's not really an issue, as you can take it flat quite easily, or in the race maybe just a little lift. But in the wet you have to actually be careful. There's a good chance you will lose the rear end, so drivers could be caught out by that. Of course also the traction out of the bus stop chicane. Could be seeing Kieran attacking Roby into turn 1. Could be seeing Latus as well attacking Kieran, or maybe even Roby if he gets a really good start. Though I think we're looking at one more lap of safety car action, as the safety car's not been called in just yet. So yeah, probably one more lap behind the safety car, and then we'll be ready to go racing. Rain does not seem to be getting heavier. Oh, safety car's coming in this lap! Safety car is in this lap, quite a late call. So Roby will have to slow down. Apologies, Roby will have to slow down the field quite a bit to get a good gap to the safety car. Yeah, just weaving now, warming up those tires. Yeah, getting ready for the restart. Obviously, warm tires are crucial, especially in the wet. Otherwise, you will be starting all over the place and losing lots of time. Kieran now, just about to head into the bus stop chicane. When is he gonna go? Has he gone already? I think he's gone already. Yes, he has. Roby, good restart from him. 5 tenths, well, 8 tenths now the gap to Kieran. Make that a second, so really good restart from Roby. Immediately, yeah, building up a significant gap to the cars behind. Don't see anybody attacking anyone at the moment. Though that will all change once we go into the camel straight, I believe. We've got Samba quite close to Envoy here, so he might be attacking him using that ERS now. The Alfa Romeo driver to the outside of Envoy, looking to make a move into P4. He's gonna pull it off, they're side by side into Lecom. But Envoy pulls out and Samba runs deep. Envoy coming back at him around the outside now for the second part. Now into the third part of the Lecom section. Still side by side. Who will come out ahead? Samba comes out ahead and moves into P4. Obviously very, very close between... what a group right here. So many cars so close together. Luke and Nick all over Keke there. But yeah, obviously not no name. Not a section you can really overtake anyone. Especially in the wet. Drivers will be unpredictable. And even if they're trying to leave some space for you, they might just slightly lose the car. And even just a slight moment of oversteer can be fatal in conditions like these. Master Grizzly all over Luke and Nick as well now. We've got a pretty big fighting group here from, what is this, I believe P5 to P9, very, very close together. I mean, right now, the only one who's really on his own is Roby, as Luke and Nick has made a mistake out of Stavelo, allowing Master Grizzly to get right past him. But Luke and Nick is trying to come back at him maybe. Lifting through Blanchimont, using overtake once again, but I think he's just a bit too far behind. Has a little look up the inside, but yeah, no way you can try that. That would have been very ambitious. So he decides better of it. Right now Macho is very close to Luke and Nick as well. So yeah, this fight from P5 to P9 really not slowing down at all. I mean, Jaume not far behind, 1 second the gap between him and Macho right now. Gustav very close to Jaume as well, fighting over the last points paying position right now. Though obviously with the penalties of the guys up ahead, some people will be jumping into the points anyway. Samba is very, very close to Lattus here, but not able to go past. Charlie Moon just received the penalty. A 3-second time penalty for having received multiple warnings. Jaume with a bit of a mistake, maybe allowing Gustav to try and move, but no, he blocks him off nicely. Macho could be up the inside of Luke and Nick. Yes, he is! Can he pull this one off? Luke and Nick can't hang on around the outside. Macho takes P8 away from the Ferrari driver. Macho now putting Master Grizzly in the sides as well, using the ERS, trying to get away from Luke and Nick, trying to get closer to the Aston Martin up ahead. Girofo is very, very close to Gustav, who just ran a bit wide there, sliding on the exit of P1 as well. Once again a bit of a slide, but he does catch it. The Red Bull driver, boy, he's definitely struggling with these conditions. You can see Girofo is able to get the car to the inside of that corner to the apex now very nicely in comparison to Gustav. So Girofo could be looking at a move up into P11 here. And Lattus in the wall! Lattus has spun! Lattus has spun and he's dropped out, well, all the way from P3 to P9, P10, could be P11 I believe as well, as his teammate goes past him. Yellow flags in Sector 3 again. Girofo can't get past Red Bull driver. Girofo's made contact with him and lost the car through Blanchimont, but he is able to keep it off the barrier just about and doesn't lose any further positions. Thankfully for the Mercedes driver. As he, well, he started from the back and he's been looking to make his way back up. He's up into P12 after 10 laps. So almost halfway through the race. But he would have been hoping to be further up the field by now. Our championship leader. At the moment he will more than likely lose the championship lead to Kieran. But yeah, Roby, really good first couple laps out of the safety car here. 3 seconds the gap between him and the rest of the field right now. But right now nobody is really able to attack anyone. Very, very close between all of them though. I think we've had some DRS still, but obviously in the rain you don't have any DRS. If we had some DRS still, we would be seeing more fighting going on. But still, I mean, I can't complain right now. There's very, very good racing all over the field right now. As Master Grizzly, bit of a mistake into the hairpin section right here, but he is just fine. Stays ahead of Macho with a strong exit out of the corner. Gustav is about 5 tenths with his teammate right now. After Lattus made that mistake earlier, just 1 lap ago, but he's recovering now. Gustav, bit of a slide through P1 once again, and Jaume is running wide. It's gonna allow Lattus to go around the outside, maybe? Is he gonna pull this one off? That's a very, very difficult move to make. But he does make it work. Jaume, 1 mistake out of P1, allowing Lattus to go right past him. But he's still right behind him. You could try and fight back against him, though Lattus has significantly more ERS than Williams driver. Gustav has lost it! Out of Stavelo, but he was able to recover it just about, though it did allow Mercedes driver Girofo to go past him. Jaume not able to attack Lattus, or not able to fight back against Lattus after that mistake he's made half a lap ago. Lattus now solidified in P9. Gustav will be looking to get back at Girofo here. Girofo a bit more ERS in his car right now. Then again, ERS is quite easy to recover in these conditions. FIA Milan is out of the race. He's retired in the pit lane. So that would be one less driver to look out for in today's race. Gustav is very close to Girofo. Could be looking to pass him here. 3/10 a gap, but I think Girofo just about is gonna hang on here as he will have the slipstream from the guys up ahead. Or will he? Gustav is gonna attack him maybe, round the outside, or up the inside even. No, either way, Girofo manages to block him off. Gustav can't put a move on the Mercedes driver as the Beausoleil receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, we're seeing, again, I mean, how many penalties do we have right now? We've got 13 on Pierre Puppy, 3 on Charlie Moon, the Beausoleil, Fleddy, Gustav, Jaum and Amvoy. So yeah, only 2 drivers of those guys with penalties in the top 10 though. So most of these penalties not be affecting the points positions, at least as of now. Obviously still only halfway through the race, so a lot could change still. Of course, depending on how this rain develops, we might be seeing another round of pit stops, or if these tires even last to the end anyway. Even if the rain does not change, if the rain strength if it doesn't get stronger or less intense. If we just got in on inters, we might still be seeing driver's box for fresh inters, as I'm not sure these inters, I mean, they would have to pretty much go the entire race, as Jaum is lost in the Lost Stavelo. He did recover it, kept off the wall, but he's lost quite a few places down from, I believe it was P9, now into P16 or P10, he was behind Natus, so he's down to P16. LRB is all over the Beausoleil here. Maybe trying to make a move on the Mercedes driver, but he breaks very early into Master Chicane. So obviously, like that, you can't make a move, but I think that was on purpose. But rather stay behind and keep the car going than make a risky move on the Dutchman. LRB down on exit, once again side by side. Samba getting a penalty, he's currently running in 3rd place. But he does have a big enough gap to the cars behind, 3.4 to Amway, but he has a penalty as well. Then another 8/10 to Kelke, who doesn't have any penalties. So as of now, Samba would stay in his, on the podium with that penalty. LRB again looking to attack the Beausoleil into Lecom, and again just not quite able to pull alongside before the corner. So has to wait behind him for at least another half a lap before the next big straight comes up. We've got a 3-second time penalty for Jaum once again, I believe it's the second one. Let me check, what is this penalty? Yeah, 6 seconds for Jaum now, who's all down to P16, so yeah. Bit of a nightmare race for him up until now. Down in P16, 6 seconds of penalties. Even if he does recover, he's gonna lose a lot of places again on penalties. 3 seconds for Pierre Puppy. That's him up to 16, I believe. Yes. He receives a 10-second penalty for extreme track limits at one point, so I'm not sure what has happened to him there. He must have significantly cut or extended the track at some point to get a 10-second time penalty, or an instant 10-second time penalty as well. Not even any warning beforehand. Marcel Grisny very close behind LFR Keke here as they're fighting over P5, what will become P4 after Amvoy's penalty gets applied. Then again, still 9 laps to go. Amvoy could pull away by 3 seconds to these guys still. He has a lot of time left. Fleddy gets past Gustav. And does so quite easily as Gustav is boxing. So yeah, 10 lap old intermediates. Jaum is in the pits as well. There we go, first people boxing for new tires, and he's going for intermediates again, so that makes me think that we will be not be seeing any change in the weather, as Jaum is retired in the pit lane. So yeah, Gustav going for fresh intermediates, so unless, and no wind change as well, crucially, so this was a planned pit stop. As Charlie Moon gets another 3-second time penalty, I believe that's the second one of the race as well. Yep, up to 6 seconds now. Yellow flags in Sector 1, that's just Jaum's AI leaving the pit lane. We've now got a bit of a close fight from P4 to P7 here between Amvoy, Keke, Grisny and Macho. Fighting over these, these places just behind the podium. The top 3 are continuing to run away at the front, just extending the gap to these guys. Though Kieran is getting a bit closer. The gap was up to, I believe, 3 seconds at one point to Roby, but he's got it back down to 1.6, so we might be seeing Kieran catching him at one point, as he is definitely closing in. Marcel Grisny only 4/10 in human KK, so he's getting closer and closer here as well. Could be putting on a move soon. Though, how much EAS does KK have? A bit more, about 20% more than Marcel Grisny, which will allow him to overtake, or to defend from the Aston Martin driver. Machos made a mistake. He stopped back. He was just behind Grisny earlier. Now he's got a 2-second gap. Yellow flags for Charlie Moon, who spun coming out of Stavelo. No wing damage on Machos' car, though Charlie Moon is still stationary. And I would like to see if he has any wing damage. Yes, no front wing on the McLaren car, so he'll be boxing on this lap to change that. And Gustav will have to be careful not to drive into him now on the bus stop chicane. As KK passes Amboy for P4 on the exit of turn 1. Amboy must have made a mistake there, otherwise you would not be seeing somebody being passed on the exit of the corner. Especially if they weren't side by side before that point, which I don't think they were. Amboy very low on ERS as well, down to 28% right now. Kieran now within a second of Roby, there we go. The leaders are in touching distance of each other. Kieran 20% ERS, Roby 10%, so even less for the front runners right now. I mean, Roby just, well, he's below 10% at points as well. So he's going to be derating, not getting the full power from that ERS, even if not using overtake. This could allow Kieran to attack him. As we are on lap 14 now of 22, he won't have that much time left. 8 laps to go in this race. 3-second time penalty for Kieran, and that's, well, unless Roby gets a penalty as well, that's going to be his chances of the win pretty much down the drain. I don't think it's going to be passing him and pulling on a 3-second gap. Fleddy now with a 3-second penalty as well. Those penalties just keep coming in, just keep getting more and more of them. J.L. Latus still recovering from his spin early on. Currently in P9 right behind Luke and Nick here. About 5/10 the gap between them. Could be looking to pull a move on him soon. Marcel is getting close to Envoy here. 3/10 between them right now. But I think he's just a bit too far behind. Interesting that we haven't seen most of these guys box just yet. So they're probably trying to extend these intermediates to the end of the race. Especially since Charlie Moon and Gustav already boxed. Oh well, Gustav, the only one with no wing damage to box for fresh intermediates. As Latus was trying to get past, oh well, just got passed by Grofo actually, which I didn't notice. Yeah, Grofo now up into P9. So continuing his recovery after having started last. Marcel now right behind Envoy here, going up a route. Using overtake over the camel straight. Will he be able to pass the Ferrari driver? 2/10 separating them. He's going to be so close into braking zone, but I think Envoy is able to hold on. Yes, indeed he is. Envoy keeps P5 for now. Keke up ahead has been able to build a gap to him. 1.5 seconds between the AlphaTauri and Ferrari now. So Keke continuing to pull away after he has made that move on Envoy, who as of now will also be losing 2 places on penalties to Marcel and Macho. I think we won't be losing a place to Luke and Nick, though this could be close as well. As of now, yeah, 4/10, and then 2.3, 3.1. So yeah, very close between Amboy and Luke and Nick. Could be seeing the 2 Ferrari drivers close after penalties have been applied. Though Girofo is gonna be fighting Luke and Nick as well soon, as he is only 4/10 behind them as well. So we're seeing quite a few fights, yeah, all over this this field, separated by less than half a second. Apologies. As Girofo, a bit of a moment out of Stavelo, but he was able to recover. Didn't lose too much time, maybe half a temp or so. Not really worth even discussing during a race, at least. In qualifying, would be more of an issue. Marcel is very close to Envoy here, who is a moment coming out of the bus stop chicane, or the first part of the bus stop chicane, and he's boxing! Envoy is in the pits! We'll be seeing him put on, I'm assuming he's going to fresh into his. Anything else would be, well, for these conditions, just simply wrong. Yes, indeed, intermediate tires on Envoy's car, fresh ones, so he thinks he can't go to the end. I wonder how much wear these guys are having. It'd be nice to see the percentage, tire wear percentage, but we are only seeing the laps they have been on these tires. Amboy coming off the pit lane, P14, 6 seconds behind the next car. Macho trying to put a move on Marcel here for P5, but not quite able to make it. Garofo also same situation between him and Luke and Nick, as between Marcel and Macho, just about able to hang on Luke and Nick, sorry, after the camel straight into Lecom. Hangs on for P7 still. LRB is close to the Beausoleil, fighting over P11 here. But, yeah, this section of the track, obviously you can't really overtake anybody. You have to wait until the long straights heading into Blanchimont, or the Bust of Duquesne rather, and into the Camel, or the Camel Straight heading into Lecom. Kieran still about 1 second behind Roby, keeping that gap as Charlie Moon gets his third penalty, I believe, of the race. Yes, indeed, third penalty, 9 seconds for him now, as he's also 28 seconds behind anyone else, so yeah, he will not be much of a factor in this race, I don't think, unless we get another safety car that could pull him back in. Otherwise, I don't think we'll be seeing much of him in today's race anymore. Yeah, no, right now, nobody just about close enough to pull a move. Flatty is the closest to anyone, 4 tenths between him and Lattice. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these like 4 or 5 tenths gap where they're just about in range to try to attack, but most of the time just not able to pull alongside into the corner, and then obviously in these conditions you don't want to be putting a dive bomb on anyone, and they're all on equal or about equal tire life as well, so there's no point trying to dive bomb. It wouldn't work if the grip is so equal for the guy you're fighting. Kieran now 5 tenths between him and Roby, so he's sitting closer to him. But then again, he does have that 3-second time penalty, which will be affecting him if he manages to pass Roby, which will cost him the win. Garofo is very close to Luke and Nick again, but once again, same situation as last lap. Not quite close enough. Fleddy also not close enough to Lattice. LRB not close enough to the Beausoleil. Probably not close enough to LRB. Yeah, same thing as I just mentioned. Every single time, every single lap, we're seeing these guys close up from about 5 tenths to about 1 tenth, but then that final tenth just seems to be the missing piece for most of these guys. Could help if we if they had some more ERS. You can see P-Puppy is very, very low on ERS here. Same for LRB. Oh, he is a bit more, about 50% right now. Fleddy at about 20, so they can't really burn that much ERS. P-Puppy, another 3-second time penalty. So he's up to, what, 19? Yep, 19 seconds of penalties. He is gonna drop down to P15 as of now. Garofo now down to 3 tenths between him and Luke and Nick. This could be his lap, or maybe next lap, if he doesn't want to overtake him into the bus stop. He is using ERS, Garofo. Does have slightly more than Luke and Nick, but yeah, for now he's not gonna pull a move on the Ferrari driver. He's gonna wait for slightly longer. Maybe he will be able to make that move on the Camel Straight. Obviously no DRS still in these conditions. I don't think we'll be getting any DRS as we only have 4 laps to go. We're getting towards the end of this race now. And yeah, the rain not going away, not getting any stronger. We're staying on intermediate tires. As Luke and Nick run slightly wide through the first corner, allowing Garofo to get very, very close now. Just 2 tenths between. This could be Garofo's chance here to move into P7. The Mercedes driver trying to carry as much speed as possible through a Rouge. And look how close he is. 3 tenths between him now. This could be Garofo's lap. Finally, he will have the chance to pass the Ferrari man this time around. But I think Luke and Nick has burned all of his ERS to stay ahead of him. And indeed he has. He has stayed ahead once again. Garofo not quite able to get close enough to him. And the same goes for the guys behind them. They've been actually, LRB has dropped back from Debo and P5 dropping back from LRB as well. Yeah, this fight between Garofo and Luke and Nick. As Charlie Moon retires in the pit lane. Yeah, he was running in P16, quite some way behind the field, just waiting for a safety car, and I think at this point he has lost hope and he's decided doesn't want to do the final few laps of this race anymore. Which, well, it's fair enough, to be honest, that in his situation he really wouldn't have had any chance of getting back in the fight for points. Garofo, well, he's 4 tenths behind him just now, which is slightly further away than last lap, but Luke and Nick does have less ES this time around. A 3-second penalty to Macho, which could be costing the position to Luke and Nick or Girofu at the moment. He's got just about 3 seconds to the cars behind. So if he can keep that gap or increase it slightly even just to be safe, he will stay in P6. Girofu is, well, he's very close to the Ferrari driver this time around. So we could be seeing him trying to pass him once again. 62% ES for the Mercedes driver, 32 for the Ferrari driver. The gap has increased as Girofu made a bit of a mistake coming out of the bus of chicane, but he is practically pushing him through turn 1 now. A bit further away than last lap, but maybe he can keep momentum through a Rouge this way. And I think he has indeed kept momentum. 3/10 the gap, and this time maybe it will be Girofu's chance. Can he get the Ferrari man? He's been stuck behind him for ages now, using all the ES, all the slipstream, but once again Luke and Nick just about hangs on. Girofu just really struggling to get past him, but now maybe with a switchback. Can he have a go? I think he's gonna have a go up the inside, and Girofu finally is gonna get past him. No, he's not, as Luke and Nick turns into him on the entry into the hairpin. Girofu did manage to catch the car, but well, it has cost him the chance at passing the Ferrari driver. Well, I wasn't able to see the actual, how much space there was left for Girofu, but I think Luke and Nick just kind of turned in on him as if he wasn't really there, which the stewards might have a look at after the race. But obviously, I'm not gonna comment to it too much. I think. Well, I just said I'm not going to comment, so I'm not going to comment. Contact between Girofu and Luke and Nick, which allowed Luke and Nick to stay ahead of the Mercedes driver, but Girofu was able to catch the car just about still, but now he's once again getting closer. Yeah, only 3/10 between him, last lap was 4 at this point. So Girofu is all over the Ferrari driver still. He's been all over him for, what, 10 laps at this point. Well, no, maybe not quite that long, but definitely at least 5. As Girofu is trying to dive from around the outside into the bus of chicane to the inside for the second part, and I think now he's gonna finally get him, as yes he does. Girofu finally moves ahead of Luke and Nick up into P7. He would have been so frustrated with him, but now he's finally got that clean air, but well, there's a 5-second gap to Macho, so I think this will be the end of Girofu's recovery drive from last place on the grid. Meanwhile, Kieran is down to a 5-second gap to Roby, but still, no penalty for Roby, penalty for Kieran, which could cost him that win. Fleddy getting past Latos, who just received a penalty as well. Fleddy on the inside, Latos on the outside, heading into Lecom, and Latos is able to brake much later than the Alpine driver, and moves back up into P9. I'm actually going to open up the penalty graphic here instead of the tires. These tires are not really of much interest at this point. Everybody is on roughly the same tires apart from Amvoy and Gustav, who boxed for fresh ones at some point. Everybody else is on about 18 lap old, 17 lap old, 16 lap old intermediate tires. So just Amvoy and Gustav who boxed for fresh ones. Everybody else on the same tire basically. On the same tire life. So we left all the penalties up on the screen so you can see who will be losing places as of now. Yeah, as of now I think the top 10 will actually stay the same. The exact same as it is right now. The penalties won't affect anything. Which, well, the guys who do have penalties will be very, very happy about that. Pier Puppy now, which is 4th 3-second penalty of the race, as Latos loses it out of Stavelo. And yes, he's lost it finally, completely! Front right tire has popped off and he's out of the race. Will this be a safety car? Would be a very, very late one. Latos just losing it through that, well, flat out right hand and right, obviously in the wet, not flat out, and he is lost it coming through there. No safety car, race goes on as normal. But Kieran is very, very close to Roby here. We could be seeing Kieran making a move for the lead of the race. The Alpine driver getting a good run through a Rouge, using the slipstream on the cabin straight now. Can he make the move up into V1? He's gonna try around the outside. Yes, he is. Kieran inside Roby, side by side into Lecom. Can Kieran overtake the Aston Martin? Round the outside. Yes, he can to the inside. And he pulls ahead. Kieran takes the lead of the race But once again I have to mention the 3-second time penalty that Kieran has, which will give the win to Roby. He just has to stay behind him. He doesn't need to fight this too hard. He can be happy to stay in P2. Samba is up to 6 seconds. I didn't even, at some point, he must have gotten a second penalty. I didn't notice that. And that will drop him out of the podium, which means that Keke and Marcel Grissen here are fighting over P3. That could be very, very interesting. Amvoy on the fresh tires has caught up to the field now. He's right behind LRB. And obviously does have massively fresher tires, which will maybe allow him to pass the Alfa Romeo driver. Amvoy could be trying to get back into the points, and yes, he does pass the Alfa Romeo now, up into P11, and he is right behind the Beausoleil, so this could be points for LFR Amvoy. Then again, LRB, no penalty for him, 3 seconds for De Beausoleil and Amvoy, so LRB right now will jump from P12 to P10, which would be the final points paying position in this race. De Beausoleil will probably try to defend from Amvoy, and then somehow I have to hope that he gets 3 seconds on LRB in some way. But it's going to be difficult for the Mercedes driver. I think LRB will claim this final points paying position, as Macho is right behind Marcel Grissen. As Samba, what's happened to Samba? He was so far ahead of these guys, and now he's right with them. He's gonna box as well now in the second to last lap. What has happened to Samba? As Macho and KK are fighting on track now as well. KK up the inside into Lost Source. Still on the inside of his teammate. Keke will, well, Keke should realistically take a position because he doesn't have a penalty. He could be attacking Marcel, but the AlphaTauri drivers do still keep fighting. No team orders in AlphaTauri, which maybe would have been smarter, as Keke could have passed Grissen for P3, and Macho, well, can't. Well, he can, but the 3-second time penalty would mean that he was gonna lose anyway. Kieran is going so much faster than Roby right now, 2.1 seconds. Kieran is pulling out a massive gap here. This could cause Roby to win. Why is Kieran so much faster? Are the tires dropping off maybe? Has Roby hit the tire cliff? 2.2 seconds on the final lap of the race. Fighting over P9, the Beausoleil and Amvoy, but we'll stay on board with Roby here, as we need to see this, well, time trial fight basically for the race win. 2.4 seconds. 3 seconds is what Kieran needs. Can he take this win home? Or will Roby be able to stay in the 3-second range and take the win? Either way, Kieran will probably be the championship leader unless something drastic happens after this race. Doesn't matter if he finishes P1 or P2. 2.6 seconds, still slightly increasing that gap. And now round Stavelo. One more time for both of them. Just 2 more corners to go. Blanchimont and the bus stop corner. 2.8 seconds. Kieran using all of the ES. Can Kieran bring this home? This would be so close. Who's gonna win this race? 2.9 seconds now, just 1/10 between them. 3 seconds, there we go, Kieran has made it. Over 3 seconds gap now. Can Kieran bring this home? Through the final corner. Roby, 3.9. What has happened to Roby? 4.5. Roby, does he have a puncture or something? He is going so slowly now. And there we go, Kieran wins the race ahead of Roby, who I think indeed does have a puncture. Roby losing the race on the last lap because he had a puncture. That is gonna be so annoying for him. Kieran takes the win ahead of Roby and then Marcel Grissen, 2 Aston Martins on the podium, so good result for the British team. Keke in P4, Gerufo in the end in P5. What a recovery from him, from last place, or starting in last place and now finishing in 5th, but still loses the championship lead to ERT Karen. Macho in P6, Luke and Nick in P7, and, well, I wasn't able to see the rest of the top 10. What is going on here? There's been some massive crashes going over the line. Well, that was a very exciting race. Gerufo gets a driver of the day award from the game, and I would have to agree. I mean, P20 to P5 is a great achievement, especially in the rain, where it is much more difficult to overtake. But here we have the race winner, ERT Kieran. What a race from him! Starting in, what was it? I think he started in 1st and lost the lead under on the pit stops when the guys were boxing for intermediate tires. After he, Roby boxed for intermediate under safety car, or the virtual safety car, where Kieran stayed out for 1 more lap, which cost him the lead, but he was able to take it back, and then, even with the 3-second time penalty that he had, pulled out the gap in the last 2 laps. Very impressive drive from him as well. Could be a contender for driver of the day. That is definitely up for discussion. And yeah, it's been very much interesting. A very interesting race today. yeah, Kieran wins out of Roby and Master Grisny, as already mentioned. Keke in P4, Grofo in P5, Macho starting in P18 and in P6, Master Grisny as well from P15 to P3. Lots of great recovery drives here in the top 6. Luke and Nick in P7, LRB in P8, Fleddy in P9, and Elephar Amvoy taking the final point of this race with Gustav having gotten the fastest lap with a 43.281. Well, this has been a very exciting race here at Belgium. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great to see these guys in action here in F4. Well, I still don't really know what happened to Roby. I think he had a puncture, but that was only at the end of the lap, I believe. He has lost, he had lost so much time in the last 2 laps. So that must have been devastating for him to lose the race win in that way. But yeah, I would say that's where I end the stream. I don't have any of these guys as friends, so doing interviews would be difficult for me, sadly. So yeah, I'll end it here, and hope you enjoyed the stream. My name is AnlaFelix1, I have been your commentator for today, and for next week you will hopefully have your normal commentary of Jake and Felix, the other Felix, who is usually commenting on F4, back, and I'll be streaming in F6 together with Brendan once again. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll end the stream. Bye bye.